us?
This is my 25th year as a teacher, and 15 of them has been as a kindergarten teacher at Tuscan School. And I grew up in Maplewood. I attended Tuscan School from kindergarten until second grade, and I'm actually lucky enough to be teaching in the same classroom that I actually attended kindergarten in Miss Bigelow's class, room 123. And my students often hear me say that my classroom is one of my favorite places to be, and it really, truly is. My husband, Dave, and I both graduated from Columbia High School in 1988. That's where we met. And our parents grew up here. They went to school in the district.
Like Claire, my mother attended Columbia High School, but so did my grandparents. My grandma and grandpa both met at Columbia High School. And now my son, who's a second grader at Tuscan, is going through the district. So it's the fourth generation of my family to be a part of this district. Even through really hard times, there were always people in these schools and buildings that made us feel like they'd be there for us through anything. I always knew that I just wanted to be just like the teachers that I had. I wanted to give other kids all the love and passion for exploring and learning that, my kindergarten teacher, Mrs. McGriff at Seth Boyden did. I wanted to create amazing learning opportunities like this living history project that Miss Taylor McGriff in 7th and 8th grade gave me. Miss Cologne, also some of the most amazing teachers at Maple Middle School. And truly, Claire and I wanted to talk about how amazing this district is, why some amazing staff have left and have gone to other districts, and why they're not all coming here, why new staff aren't excited to come here.
When I hear people not wanting to stay, or people telling me like, oh, I'm going somewhere else because I can make a lot more money if I go there, it truly hurts my heart because I'm so invested here. Right now, I'm at the top step of the salary guide with a master's, and I still need to supplement my income with other jobs. I do recess duty, I write curriculum, I teach enrichment classes, I have odd jobs here and there outside of school, and I also have to work the entire summer. I don't get my summers off. And this is just to help me supplement my income so that I can remain living in Maplewood in my house. It's so discouraging when I see the salary guides of educators in other districts who have the exact same amount of experience as I do, the same amount of education as I do, and they're making thousands of dollars more than I am. I don't want to leave. I'm just so invested. I've loved working in the same town that I live in, seeing the children in town and at the pool and in camp where I work in the summers. It's truly one of my favorite things, but it's really getting very difficult to be able to stay here.
And when I talk to teachers that I've known at Tuscan who have left and gone to other places and are making so much more, it is really incredibly heartbreaking to think that we're not valued in the same way, because we value the students we work with and the jobs we have so highly. There's nights I lay awake thinking about the students I work with, like what's going on with one of their families or what I can do to help. The kid I saw was sad at recess today. We truly, our heart is in this job and our time is in this job. And unfortunately, we're just feeling so unappreciated and so not valued. Just to know that we have been put in this position where we're not even close to local districts on our salary guides, but also the negotiations offer kept us lower than the county average. Even we're already behind, but not even to keep us on the same trajectory as other districts. I can't tell you how much it demoralized staff. We're not going to keep attracting the most talented, most diverse and passionate, qualified educators with this salary guide.
They're not going to be here.
Nor will we retain the people that are here, that are so passionate. We're currently without 2 teachers of special education at Tuscan right now. The first 6 weeks of the school year, we did not have our evidence-based reading teacher. Our students deserve better than this. Our community deserves better. Unappreciated doesn't cover it. Like, it just doesn't. To feel that you could leave and in so many other places be ten or $12,000 higher a year. So I really think just the last thing we'd ask is that you don't take us for granted, and that when I say you, this district, this Board of Ed, please show us the respect that we deserve.
I I love South Orange Maplewood, and I just hope that I can stay here.
Hi, I'm Greg Tuttle. I'm a history teacher at Columbia High School. This is my 5th year in the district. This is my 6th year teaching.
Hi, I am Stephanie Rivera, and I teach history at CHS, and I have been in the district all 7 years of my teaching career.
You know, I do have to say that I do love working in South Orange Maplewood School District. It's home. It feels good to be home. It's always felt like home. You know, there is very little doubt that I am proud of the work that I do in the district, and that I put my whole self into that work. What's frustrating is when that's only recognized passively by words. You know, like, it's great to see that teachers are active. It's great to see that the students are doing well, or that, you know, this is kind of the language that we hear from the board. It's tiring when everything that we put into the work isn't reflected in even just the board willing to sit down and negotiate with us.
Very similarly, I absolutely love teaching this in this district. I love the kids that come into my classroom day in and day out, and the support from the community is truly incredible, and I feel really lucky to be here. We love our students, we love our district, and we're continuously asking, when is our district going to love us back? And the lack of fair pay has undoubtedly impacted my life in numerous ways. Not only having to pay back really overwhelming student loans, but also to keep up with the cost of living. I live in Maplewood, and it is no doubt is really hard to maintain that ability to continue living here. And I love living in the same district that I teach, or love living in the same town that I teach in. And I think one of the most heartbreaking things is that I see my students as my own kids. And it's really hard that I can't start a family of my own, because I cannot say with confidence, with the pay that we receive, that I can provide for my child. The income is just not realistic. And I want to make sure, if I'm going to ever start a family, I have the money to do so. And what we're receiving right now I can't, I truly cannot. So again, I give everything that I can to my kids, to this district. And it would be so wonderful if the board could see that and would give us what I truly believe we deserve.
To build on Stephanie's point, myself and my partner's decision to start family planning has actually driven us out of Essex County and out of North Jersey altogether. We are lucky enough to have recently bought a house, but we are all the way in Mercer County, because that is where we found the most affordable housing based on our income. And, you know, my dedication to South Orange Maplewood School District has resulted in an hour 20 commute each way to work. And then to show up to work to hear that the board has offered you know, no raise or minimal raise, or that we're frozen, and that there is no hope in sight for a decent cost of living adjustment or anything like that. It's very hard to not look within the new community that I live in for teaching jobs, because, you know, more likely than not, the pay would actually be better. So it's hard to, you know, it's hard to stay committed to a district that doesn't feel like they're committed to me. You know, I guess think about the board's refusal to negotiate in good faith. It's disheartening. It's hard. I don't think, you know, to refuse to even sit down with us to negotiate, not even to you know, 100% agree to our terms, but to sit down, to refuse to even sit down and talk, just shows complete disrespect and disregard, and really sends the message that we are disposable. And
Hi, everyone. I'm Christy Thomas. I am a social studies teacher at Columbia High School. I joined the South Orange Maplewood School District in 2011.
I'm Matt Borkowski, also Columbia High School, also social studies. This is my 15th year teaching, only ever taught here in our district. I don't enjoy at the end of each year wondering whether I want to, you know, go take a $15,000 raise somewhere else, but give up my tenure and then have no job security for my 6- and 3-year-old at home, or if I want to stay and just keep hoping the next year feels better institutionally. But I'm having those conversations with myself, my wife, at the end of every single year.
Right. I meant it when I said in the board meeting in November that I could literally resign from my position, get hired next year at step 11, where I have 11 years of experience, and get an $11,000 raise. And that's not lost on teachers.
So yeah, I just think that, you know, in a year where you're frozen, you know, I'm already in year 15 and I'm on step 10. So I'm already behind. And then here I am frozen, and, you know, gas prices have increased, medical contributions have increased, taxes have increased. So it literally is it's a demotion, right? I'm literally making less money in real wage terms than I was last year. I mean, get me to neutral, keep me up with cost of living. Make it so that my real wages don't go down from 1 year. Like, I'd like more than that, but that's
make it so that I'm not frozen every 12 minutes and then missing my step that I'm owed. Because if we don't negotiate a contract this year and I'm on step 7, I go to step 8, whenever that is. That could be year, hopefully it's not because we're in mediation, but that could be year 13 before I see step 8. And
it also is not great PR when there's clearly money for, you know, there's money for a superintendent raise, you know.
Big one.
He's
$30,000. He makes 4 times what I make.
And I don't want, it's not personal. It could be whoever that person is, right? But that here I am, you know, trying to cover a class, you know, how many classes per week? Not because I want to, because I feel like I have to. And it's either that or get a second job at night when I should be with my family. You know, there's money, that's a nice raise. And, you know, there's money to pay people to tutor, and there's money to pay outside organizations to come in and get contracts to do professional development, even though they're not from our district or even as skilled as some of the people in the district. So
best practice in this area says having people in-house lead PD is the most effective way to teach and learn.
Right.
So we're in negotiations, and there's a chuckle when we're asked, you know, when we offer how much money we'd like to make. And I read an article where the board president says that the state average, the annual increase in the state average is 3.1%. And yet our board comes and offers us 2% over 3 years. Well, how do you rectify those things? If you're telling the world, you're telling the community that 3% is the average across the state, and you're offering us 2/3 of that when we're already not meeting, that just feels like, I can't say, it feels like I'm not being valued. I don't know how to say it any differently. It feels like we don't deserve it in their eyes. And maybe that's
you can say, like, well, the union doesn't have to work to rule, but we do. And it just really stinks that we've been put in the position to have to do that, right, in order to prove our basic worth, and that we're the ones that have to face. We have to face these students every day, and we have to face their frustration. We have to face their mental health. We're the ones that are stuck between trying to explain in a way that's appropriate and not look cool and distant. These board members don't have to, they can choose to open an email, choose to reply or not. I got 140 students staring me in the face every day. And they're the ones that we would be willing to go above and beyond for, and we would be willing, to give them the shirt off our back if we just were given the basic level of respect and appreciation that the district says. It's the collateral damage, and it's a shame, and I don't want to hear it.